Welcome to the podcast. I'm Anita Joyce here with Kelly Wilkness, and this is Decorating Tips and Tricks. We're going to start with episode 285, Hot Mantle Ideas. The show notes for today's episode can be found at decoratingtipsandtricks.com/285.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about decorating your mantle today, and it's not really necessarily for the holidays. We wanted to touch on the mantle. It is a focal point in most people's rooms if you have one. Not everybody has one. So you can use these tips for any flat surface, whether it be a shelf in your room or whether it be some sort of break front piece of furniture. I think that these would translate to any surface like that. What do you think, Anita?
Oh, yeah, I definitely do. And the thing that I think makes this so important for us to talk about mantle decorating is that it is such a natural.
It really is.
Point.
It is so important.
I mean, there's so many parts of your home. It's critical. There's so many things in your room that maybe you could put off till later, because that's the kind of the thing. You can't do everything all at one time. What should you do first?
You can't? Wait a minute.
Well, I know.
Yeah.
What should you put off till later? And the mantle, I feel like, is really one of those things that really needs to be addressed first because it is such an obvious focal point. People are going to notice it. You're going to notice it. And if it's off, it's going to be bothering you. Whereas maybe some other room, you could just shut the door and not look at it. But this is a room that you're probably in all the time. And so I really do think it should take priority on really making sure that it's something that you love.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm joking. It is important. It's most of the time, if you have a mantle, it's in a room where as soon as you walk in the front door, you're seeing it. And it is a major part of either a family room or a living room, or if you're really lucky enough, even a bedroom. That's definitely on my decorating or house
what a
bucket
luxury.
List. Yeah, to ever someday. I don't know if that'll ever happen. Not in this house.
Well,
but maybe.
when we have our ski chalet.
Oh yeah. When we have the ski chalet and we can have everyone come visit us.
Ski out, yeah. And then you have
I don't ski, but yeah, that's okay. I don't care. I can make hot chocolate for everyone.
Well, and you know how I've been talking about how this is such an important focal point in your home. The other thing to keep in mind is that not a lot of us have historic homes where they had the amazing molding and detail around the fireplace. If you go into an older home and yours has some nice detail, doesn't it, Kelly?
Oh yeah, mine has a lot of detail and almost to the point where I'm like, oh gosh, I wish it didn't have so much because I am really
those Victorians.
Those Victorians, they did were over the top. But I mean, I do love it. I mean, really, I'm incredibly grateful that I have that cool mantle that I have. But I am limited in what I can do there because there is a mirror that's inlaid and the mantle is very shallow. So I can't layer like we're going to talk about today. I can work in threes, and I'm giving you little hints at what we're going to be talking about, but I am pretty limited as far as what I can put on the mantle because of the shallow depth and also because there is a mirror already in there.
Right. So what I wanted to start with is just talking about how most of us have homes that were built by somebody else, where the builder really was kind of trying to get it up quickly for a good price, and a lot of newer homes really don't have wonderful architectural details around your fireplace. Unless you custom built your house, it's just not going to probably be the way you want it to be. So what I wanted to start with first is just to mention to you that don't feel like you're stuck with your mantle and your fireplace the way it is right now. I mean, I know we're talking about decorating it, but I want you to even step back before you even think about decorating it. Maybe there's some way that you can add, if your fireplace, if you're really unhappy with it, get a contractor over there, get a carpenter, get your guy over there and think about some ways where you can add some molding or add a special mantle. I mean, there's a lot of things that can be done. And yes, you can do it after the fact, after your house is built. So I do want you to kind of think about that along with all the decorating that we're going to be talking about today.
That's so smart because I didn't really go that far back. In getting ready for this episode, I just started doing the decorating, but you're absolutely right. It's really simple. In fact, we have a couple of episodes on that. So, oh gosh, I think I'm in charge of the show notes for this one. So I'll remember, or someone will remind me if I forget to link to those, because we did a whole one about, doing something to the brick or the tile. We did a whole episode on that. Like, how can you really change it up? But today, the primary focus is decorating, but that is so great to mention, Anita. And it can be as simple as a really nice chunky piece of wood that either you or somebody you hire or a place that you buy it from has a nice bevel on it or some sort of nice profile, or finding two old corbels and putting a piece of wood over it and making your own mantle.
Right. And maybe sometimes people have brick they don't like or rock they don't like. A lot of times you can panel over that. So just keep that in mind. Get to just talk to somebody who knows what they're doing, because it does have to be something that can handle the heat. So
good point.
Now,
Good point.
now you and I do consults for people, and we've talked to a lot of people about their fireplaces.
We have. It is a big topic because it's a big thing. And like you're saying, it's a big focal point. And if you don't like it, it's really hard to just move beyond that. But there is hope. There's so much hope, and there's so many easy ways to fix it.
Right. So I think the thing that we see, and you can tell me if you think differently, the thing that I see the most that makes people unhappy with the way their fireplace mantle looks is too many little things. And it's the thing that we talk about really throughout your house. Bigger is better and less is more. So what you want are taller things. Obviously, it's not going to be able to be very wide. Most mantles aren't that deep. But you're going to want something tall, substantial, and not so much. Not a lot of little things.
Yes, absolutely. Now that we're turned our attention to the decorating of the mantle, yes, people, they do complain about that. They don't like it at all. But we've covered that, and that's for a different day or past days. And they definitely talk about, like, they'll send us pictures and say, I just don't know what to do. And I think the knee-jerk reaction to that is to put more on.
Add more. Isn't that the truth? I think we all have that knee-jerk reaction. I don't like it. I should add more. But really, that's not a good knee-jerk reaction. I mean, really, I think the thing is, when you know it doesn't look right, especially with a mantle, it's not like a whole room. Just take everything off. Start over. Start from scratch. And then you're going to put back kind of your favorite things. You're going to start with some tall things. So if you have room, I think a nice piece of artwork or a mirror, and depending on your mantle, you could either do a leaner or actually hang it. And this is, but if you do a mirror, keep in mind, you don't want it reflecting something ugly, like some ceiling, fan. Make sure, if you're going to test that it's not going to be reflecting something you really don't want to see.
That's true. And while I do love a leaner, if it's leaning backwards, it might be reflecting something off the ceiling that you don't like.
Right.
A popcorn ceiling, or like you're saying, a ceiling fan or a light fixture that's not your favorite thing. So make sure that it is in a position where it is reflecting, if you can, a window, out of doors, or, it's a piece of art across the other side of the room, or just your wall. It would be fine. And then I think that you'd be happy with the mirror above it. I think that's one of the best things to put above a mantle. Now, of course, we'll address the situation where people have TVs above the mantle. But if you don't, I think it's such a perfect place in a room to place a mirror. Not only is it going to do what a mirror does and open up the space exponentially, it's usually a mantle over a fire, working with a fireplace is usually pretty wide. So you could have a fairly large mirror there, and it wouldn't look like it was overpowering for the room. And so you're getting the actual, what a mirror does in a room generally. And then you're reflecting whatever you're putting in front of it, whether it be candlesticks or your favorite collection of ironstone or a beautiful floral arrangement or a little line of succulents, whatever you're doing, you're going to get to see it almost twice because it's going to be reflected in the mirror.
Right. So I love the idea of a mirror. And another thing I think that would go very well with the mirror is I think it's a great place to add some light. So this is where I really want to see some candles. This is where the battery operated candles come in to play. It's a wonderful place to put a lamp, but then again, you're limited by the depth of the mantle. Also, you probably won't have a great place to plug in the lamp. So this is a great place to really add some interest, add some romance with some light, but do that with those battery operated candles that you can put either in a lantern or on a candlestick. Most of the candlesticks I don't think are going to be tall enough. So I would really be looking for a really tall lantern to put up there. I think that would be really nice. And then maybe the other thing you could do instead of one of those battery operated candles is to put some of the string lights, the fairy lights in there that are battery operated and turn that on or have it on a timer. Wouldn't that be gorgeous?
So pretty. So would you say you're putting one of the chunkier candles? You're not talking about tapers. You're talking about a chunkier candle?
No, right.
In those lanterns? Is that what you're suggesting?
Yeah. Yes. The big chunky pillars.
Mm-hmm. Right. So I can't even, I could maybe fit one, but I couldn't fit the lantern part of it. So what I have is I have in threes, 3 different candlesticks, 2 of each. I have a set of 3 on one side and a matching set of 3 on the other side. But each one of them is different, but I spray painted them all gold. And I just can fit tapers. So I just put them in sort of a little cluster. So working in threes, which is, really that magic number that we talk about to use in your decorating all throughout your house. But it also comes into play on your mantle on a small scale. If you're working in threes, you can even go slightly overboard and have more things there if you break it up into little groups of threes, because that's really pleasing with the eye rather than having a zillion different things on there. Mm-hmm. If you feel like, I really want to have my 3 or 4 collections of things that I love, but use them in threes and rotate them out in groups of threes. And you can kind of get away with it that way rather than just having a whole lineup of one-offs on your mantle, because that's really confusing and I don't think you're going to be happy with that. So what I have is these the 3 taper candles. Now, I didn't use the ones that you can, that are battery operated there because on the taper, they're still a little wonky. I don't think we've come all the way that we need to go for that type of candle.
Right. But the technology isn't there yet.
Not there yet. I do light them. And in fact, the other night for Thanksgiving, we decided to have our little appetizer in the living room before we went to sit down. And I thought, I'm going to, it's just my family, but I'm going to light them up. I light them up when company comes. And so it was so pretty to sit in there. So you have, even though it's this really shallow mantle, I've got 6 candles going on in there of differing heights. And it was beautiful.
Yeah, that's really nice. And I've got the TV. Now it is hidden behind the doors, but that really is very limiting. And I've got to tell you, it's rough working around that because I can't put anything very tall in the center. So I have 2 candlesticks on either side, which is just, I love the idea of the 3, but I only had room for 2. So I have 2 pretty tall and each one is different and they're on either side of the TV. And then when the doors swing open, you can't willy-nilly just throw them or it will knock over the candles. But my family already, they're trained very, very well not to just throw them.
They are, yes. Molly even knows how to do it.
Oh, Molly.
In a pinch, Molly the collie can do it.
Molly the collie is the best behaved member of our family. Just hands down or paws down, whatever. She really is.
Don't you just love a great recommendation from a friend? Well, we're delighted to be recommending these companies and their wonderful products to you today. And let them know your friends at DTT sent you. BritBox just keeps getting better. The new Archie is amazing. And it's not the comics. It's about Cary Grant. Archie is the brand new limited series starring Jason Isaacs as Archie Leach, the man who became Cary Grant. From the award-winning screenwriter of Philomena, Archie tells Grant's born in Britain, made in Hollywood story, the dramatic grit to glamour transformation that led him to become one of the most famous people in the world. You are going to absolutely love the acting, but also the styling, the outfits, the scenery. It's the first time his story has been told in collaboration with his daughter Jennifer Grant and ex-wife Diane Cannon. The performances from Jason Isaacs and the rest of the cast are amazing, and it's only available on BritBox. So sign up for BritBox today to stream Archie and other fan favorites from any device. And we have a special limited time offer for our U.S. and Canadian listeners. Get 50% off, yes, that's 50% off your first month when you sign up for a monthly plan. But only if you go to BritBox.com and use our promotion code DTT at checkout. You're going to love Archie. So head over right now and get 50% off your first month of BritBox. Use the promotion code DTT at BritBox.com. Go ahead, clean out your closet, then head straight to Quince. I love every item Quince offers, from wardrobe to decor, and I can really recommend their Ultra Stretch Super Wide Leg Pant at $49.90. The price is unbeatable, and the look is so flattering. It keeps you in on top and flares out of the bottom. Everything feels right with Quince. The price, the quality, and the sustainability. Quince offers a range of luxury wardrobe and home goods at prices within reach. And like Quince's clothing, their home goods are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. Once you've cleaned out your closet and refreshed with Quince, you can also add something to your home decor. So give your wardrobe and your home the refresh it needs with Quince. Go to quince.com/DTT to get free shipping and 365-day returns on your next order. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/DTT for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/DTT. And let me know how you love those pants.
The other thing that we want you to consider when you are decorating your mantle is that it doesn't, even though it is a focal point, it doesn't stand alone. It needs to work with the rest of the room. Now, this may seem obvious, but we'll tell you how many times we've seen photos, not necessarily of clients or listeners turned, clients through the consults, but just even in regular life, visiting people's homes, or even sometimes you see it in magazines this way or on blogs and whatnot. The mantle should be integrated with the rest of the room and make sense with the rest of the room. And sometimes people get so carried away with decorating the mantle, you look around and it doesn't really make sense with the rest of the room. So not only not only with color and whatnot, but the whole feel of it. And you want to also make sure that it's integrating with the wall on either side. So what's going on either side of it? Don't pluck it out and decorate it in a vacuum. Make sure that it's working with everything.
Yeah, and it's a great place too to display your blue and white collection if you have some vases or something.
If you have blue and white collection.
If you have blue and white. Another thing would be like ironstone, some really tall or really white pictures that you can get at Home Goods. You don't have to have the fancy, expensive, old crackle glazed ones. I like to mix the cheap new ones in with kind of the older ones that are all stained and worn, that have a lovely patina. But this is a great place to display something like that. And when you have several of them, different heights and a little bit different, that can be really pretty and add some interest. So wouldn't that be pretty to have a dark, maybe mantle, a dark fireplace, and then have those white pictures there? I think that would be really nice.
Oh, gorgeous. And yes, if you have a large collection of sort of one thing, or of different sizes, or maybe, one has a little relief on and the other one is plain. I'm picturing the ironstone, as Anita mentioned right now. If you have a collection of that, you can put that all on your mantle, but it really needs to be one thing, very much the one thing.
Right.
And then it works as a whole.
Well, and I think that's another thing. I've seen maybe 5, 6 things put on the mantle where it's artwork layered with mirrors and it's all, leaning. And it's kind of, the layered look is nice, but here's the thing. When you have 5 things there, I don't know what I'm supposed to be looking at. I don't know what the main thing is. And so I think that can be confusing and not feel, you want it to feel pleasing to the eye. You want it to make sense to your eye. So I think you have to have one main piece in the center and maybe some smaller things. But I think you want it to be obvious. This is my star. You know, you don't want to have to guess which one's the main one. And yes, you do need a main one, I think.
Whoa. Okay. I'm going to have to disagree there.
Oh, really? You're going to disagree with that?
I mean, it's not a hardcore disagree, but I think that if you're doing one thing that is a collection, and I wouldn't make it a thing that's very busy. So again, the ironstone comes to mind, something like that. That then becomes the one thing because it's unified.
Oh, well, no, I think we are in agreement. And I'm thinking
I was worried there. Oh, yeah,
no. I've seen where it's a bunch of artwork and it's all about the same size, but they're kind of all layered and they're all like, some are mirrors, some are artwork. And
no. That's not what I'm saying.
I know. I think we are in agreement. I mean, right.
Shoot.
No. Oh, heavens forbid. Right. No, we're not disagreeing.
No, you're right. No, you're right. No, it's all good. Okay, so you guys got that? So we're in agreement and it's good. So you could have one thing, you know, that acts as one thing, but don't mix a whole bunch of things together. It's too confusing. And yeah, lots of layering. A little layering can be good. You know, maybe one piece of art or one black and white photo that's pretty fabulous that maybe has a big white mat on it or something, and then maybe another one leaning on it. So each one of them has a little room to breathe, so to speak, and you can appreciate both. You don't want stuff looking like it's stacked on your mantle. That's confusing.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a lot to be said for kind of a piece of artwork and kind of something large on either side, maybe not too matchy. Maybe it's something different, but you really don't need a lot here. Now, if you have a situation where you do have a TV, are we ready to talk about that?
Sure, I can.
Okay. Well, then you're kind of limited to things to put under the TV. And like I said, I've got my 2 candlesticks on either side. They're really very tall, especially with the candles on them. And then I just kind of have a few books and then maybe a wire basket over to one side. So very simple under there. I think it's really easy for it to feel cluttered if you have the TV and then stuff underneath it.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I had to deal with that in my other house in San Marino before I moved here. And I didn't have anything to close over it or whatnot. The TV was just there. And I did something very simple and tall on either side. I had these sort of lightweight metal pedestal kind of urn sort of things. And I just had simple boxwood balls.
Oh, that
really
sounds pretty.
Simple. Just something simple. Peter didn't like them there. He was like, oh, it's distracting from the TV. I was like, yeah. That's kind of the idea.
We don't want anything distracting from that big black square there, a rectangle.
Yeah. I mean, they have all those really cool things now that you can have, a piece of art that transforms into a TV, or you could have a mirror that transforms into a TV. I mean, those things are pretty amazing. I'm sure they're pretty expensive, but maybe as time goes on, kind of just the same way it happened with the big screen TV itself. You know, at first when those came out, weren't they like 10 grand for a big screen TV? And now, you can get one at Costco for probably like, I don't know, $500 or something like that.
Yeah. Now I know Ballard Designs for a while had cabinets that you could put over your TV, but if it was past a certain size, I think it was like 48 inches, it was not big enough. But so that's when you need to, as we say, know a guy, because, you got to have a guy there that can go, because if you have a large TV, you could probably hire someone to just build a little box around it. It might not be as much as you think it would be. And some of you are handy yourself, or you have a handy husband. So that's something that you could make if you're clever that way, which we don't do those things ourselves.
No, I do have a drill though, and I feel kind of really sexy when I use my drill.
Yeah,
that's about as far as I go.
Yeah, I love my power tools.
I want to remind you that we are available for design consults. We take on your design dilemmas, questions, renovations, Any project you want to talk about, any room, any space, we are here for you. And we really do enjoy doing these. And I think we've helped people a lot. So if you want to sign up for a consult, head to the link in the show notes. It's decoratingtipsandtricks.com/consult. We hope to talk to you soon.
Okay, so back to the mantle. Any
here's
additional tips there?
I mean, if you have a mantle, we've talked about what do you do if it's not really so exciting, but sometimes there's a beautiful mantle that has really some good bones to it that was well done. And one option is just to do nothing. I've seen that done. Well, I know it's a little out there. I mean, and it's not for everyone.
But I've seen everyone.
Sometimes it looks great. Sometimes it doesn't. I mean, it just that's something you could try, because I have seen it done well, and I've seen things where it's just maybe one large painting even, and that's all. I mean, there's just a lot of different things that you can try. And just see if you like it.
Yeah, and we are in the throes of Christmas decorating and all of that now. In fact, our next episode is going to be all about Christmas trees and decorating them. So this might be something that you're going to think about in January, when I know I just love to have a clean, fresh start in January.
Me too.
Yeah. So maybe then you just take everything off the mantle and you just let it breathe for a little while, and then you decide. And if you're going to put things back, it is definitely better to err on the side of one smashing, fabulous piece of art or mirror, something like that, or one fabulous vase or something with some branches in it, something like that, rather than 50 small things. So if you just keep that one tip in mind, you're going to be good.
Well, and I love the idea, like I said, of one big painting and then some lighting sconces on either side. I think that's just such an elegant look. But again, I think a lot of people have TVs up there, and that really does mess things up. I mean, it just makes it very hard but it's practical. So I get it. I mean, like I said, we've got one up there too. So, I get it both ways, because if you don't put it there, where do you put it?
Right.
And then if it is there, then you really are limited. So yeah, we've got to come up with some good ideas for disguising that TV. There's got to be something out there that we don't know about.
Well, I don't know. We've kind of covered it all. And then you even have the projecting idea. So, if you have to be open to the idea of getting rid of the TV. And then there are definitely options.
Okay. So my neighbor, Sarah, very clever. She has, the old screens where you would pull it down if you had your projector, or, we heard tell of back in the day. Right. And then it would just kind of go all the way up into the metal drum at the top. It would disappear. Yeah. She has a map, and she pulls it down and it covers the TV. Is that not clever?
Well, that's very cool. Well, when we had our apartment up on 96th and Madison in New York, and we bought it this way, it was a beautiful pre-war apartment building. I mean, it was really well done. All the molding, gorgeous, gorgeous. And there was a beautiful fireplace. And the woman who lived there before, she worked for J. Crew. She did very cool. And she definitely had awesome style. And she clearly didn't want to have a big TV. But it was back when you still could get those sort of the big TV where actually it was kind of like built into the coffee table, and that had those projector lights coming out. I don't know when she bought that, but that's what she had.
Projector lights, what?
Yeah. So the TV would so there was just like you're saying, it was a screen like a teacher would pull down to watch a movie, in his classroom, and it went up into a drum in the ceiling, and it pulled down on top of the.
Stop it!
Yeah, so I had a picture of the mantle, and then I would pull if we wanted to watch TV, I had a little pole, and I would pull the thing down, and then you turn the TV on, and then the TV projected from somewhere, I forget exactly where it was.
I see what you're saying,
under the coffee table.
Mm-hmm. Inevitably, with the new year come wellness goals. One very effective and easy to reach goal is to add Dose to your wellness regime. Dose is expertly formulated organic wellness shots that support your liver in one delicious drink. Formulated with ingredients clinically shown to support liver health, potent turmeric, milk thistle, and ginger. There's 0 sugar and 0 calories. Did you know that your liver performs over 500 special functions? Since I learned all that my liver is doing, I started with Dose to support all those vital functions. I take a shot of refreshing Dose 2 times per week to combat everyday toxins from food, meds, alcohol, and unhealthy air. Since starting with Dose about a month ago, I am definitely feeling an overall improvement in my health. So if you want to give Dose a shot and invest in your health like I have, Dose is offering DTT listeners 15% off your first order, plus an additional 15% off if you subscribe for a monthly delivery. That's 30% off your first order. So go to dosedaily.co/DTT and use the code DTT. That's dosedaily.co.co/DTT and use the code DTT. Green Chef is a delicious delight any time of year, but especially during the holidays. What a wonderful vision to behold as the Green Chef boxes on your doorstep. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit for eating well. And it makes eating well so easy with plans to fit every lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat a more balanced diet. So let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season. And if you've got guests coming, shop Green Bundles. They're now available at the Green Market. It's your one-stop shop for nutritious grab-and-go breakfast, including vegan options, brunch kits, wholesome lunches, ready-to-eat snacks, veggie sides, and more. You can feel your best this December and do your best with Green Chef because they offset 100% of the delivery emissions as well as 100% of the plastic in every box. Go to greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT and get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT to get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months.
Well, and I've seen, have you seen those at the foot of beds where they used to have there's just kind of a console or something, and then you would push a button and the TV would come up? I haven't seen those in a long time, but
yeah, I don't know. I don't think those ever really caught on.
Yeah, no, I don't think they did either, but I saw them in the magazines.
They were in the magazines. They're probably really expensive. And then you had this big thing at the end of your bed and whatever.
Yeah, what are you going to do with
right,
it? Yeah, but now we just watch TV on our laptop, but whatever. So,
yeah.
So technology's changing.
Oh, ain't that the truth? Okay. So, we want to get in a listener question, right? And you had something that you wanted to read that we got from someone, right, Anita?
I do. I've heard from 2 listeners. One is Margot in Massachusetts. Hi, Margot. And Margot had recently moved and she's had some health issues. She's been going through a really tough time, but she talked about listening to our podcast, and she said she told her husband that we are her make-believe friends.
Oh, there's no make-believe here, girl.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I told her, I said, we're not make-believe. We're your real friends. So, but anyway, tell your husband, Margot, we are real friends. And we mentioned you on the podcast. No, she says she sits with a teacup of her coffee or tea and listens to the podcast. So,
I love it. Me too.
I know. and then Barbara on Instagram said she listened to the episode on the Christmas colors, and she said it was just great having us in her home, drinking coffee and chatting with her.
Oh my gosh, we're drinking a lot of caffeine with all these gals.
I know. We drink a lot of coffee and tea. So we're there. We are so excited you're listening and letting us know. Email us. Send us some questions. Send us some tips. We'd love to mention you on the podcast.
Yeah. And truly, I mean, obviously we couldn't do this without you guys. I mean, we could, but it'd really be a little silly. We wouldn't need these microphones or anything. We could just talk to each other. But,
it would just be a phone call.
There would be no podcast without all of you. So we for sure feel like everybody who's listening is part of this community. And I have to tell you that, we talked about Jackie B and her son-in-law and what he's going through right now. And she was so appreciative that, everybody, she definitely felt prayers and good thoughts on that Monday. She didn't know exactly what was happening, but I guess there was some really great progress that Jason made on that day. So thank you for everybody who are coming together and sending your thoughts and prayers that way. And we have a listener question all the way from Bedfordshire. You got me at the word Shire, my friend Hannah.
I love it.
Yes. So Hannah M. from Bedfordshire in the UK.
Hi, Hannah.
Hannah's asking about, what do you do? The question came in a little bit ago. So we were sort of maybe after Halloween and just getting ready for Christmas. And I know now it's December 2nd when you're listening to this, but we're recording it a little bit earlier. And I have to say, I just eradicated my home of the pumpkins. So there is
I just did this morning.
Right. I mean, and then I'd find another one. I'd be like, oh, I can't believe another one. So Hannah's asking about what do you do this time between Halloween and Christmas? So if you're not really ready to start Christmas yet, but yet you're totally over with Halloween and, you've got this sort of fall harvesty thing going on. What do you do? How do you decorate? Do you just, one day you change from Halloween to Christmas, or is this transitional period?
Well, I love the idea of the transitioning. So maybe after Halloween, if you wanted to, as you're getting closer to the Christmas season, maybe you're transitioning where you're pulling out the orange pumpkins and leaving the white ones. You're adding a little bling. I think this is a great time to pull out the mercury glass, some silver things, and start get some kind of shiny things, but still don't have to go full bore onto the Christmas. So you're not necessarily going to get out the tree or the greenery until you're ready for that, but start adding some kind of festive, feeling like, something's coming. You know what I mean? With some fairy lights and some sparkly candlesticks and everything.
Oh, yeah. I love that idea. I would suggest maybe if you don't want to go into the greenery yet, you could do some bare branches, something like that. Definitely adding some sparkle, some mercury glass. I would definitely take away anything that was Halloween related and sort of clean all that out. And I might go for a very neutral palette around that time. Particularly if you're going to go into the traditional Christmas colors or even an alternative colorful Christmas palette, maybe you want this time where your decor is just sort of a little peaceful and moving from the Halloweens and the Thanksgivings. But yes, you can definitely leave some pumpkins around. Last year I did a whole transitional table for one of our blog tours, and I mixed in some the velvet pumpkins and white pumpkins, and I put some silver and gold Christmas balls on it. So it really all did work really nicely together in sort of grays and creams and wheat colors. So that's how I like to decorate at this time of year. I'm not really 100% ready. I think I've mentioned this before, and if you follow me on Instagram and stuff, I'm kind of a real holdout for Thanksgiving. And so I don't even decorate right away, Thanksgiving weekend. We started to pull the bins out and sort of take inventory, but I don't really have too much up right now.
My family thought I was ill because I didn't do Christmas until after Thanksgiving this year. She was saying, are you okay, Mom? There's something wrong with you.
What's going on? Get that mall Christmas tree up. Come on.
I know.
So, yeah. And I wanted to thank the several people who took the time to email us about that really interesting antique, that vintage
the straw
with
thing.
The strainer thing. And all I did, I didn't even show any of you a picture of it.
But y'all are good. Y'all are good.
So good. And I just sort of described it, and I probably didn't even describe it well because I didn't have it in front of me. And we've gotten so many responses. And one, Joyce was funny. She's like, could it be an opium pipe?
Well, I was thinking it was something
I don't
like
think so, Sherlock Holmes. I don't think so. But I think we've got the answer. And I think actually a few of you came up with the answer. So just bear with me. I'm going to go through the emails again to get everybody's name right and make sure, that I get down all the responses, because some of them, like Joyce's, were kind of
Are
funny.
you doing that now? Should we wait?
No.
Hold on.
No, you really do like everything right away. No, I'm not doing it right now. because it's already 38 minutes and 12 seconds. I'm not going to do that right now.
Just ask.
But I will do that in the next, probably by the next episode or so. But I thank you to everybody. We've gotten, since we started doing these listener questions at the end, I'm going to tell you, I am in a very good way overwhelmed by your response. It's so fun.
I love it.
Yeah. And
the email.
Photos and stuff. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's where we're getting all these emails.
Right. But our email is to reach
us. In case you don't know.
I'm trying to work my way into the conversation here.
Okay.
It's decorating tips and tricks at gmail.com. Email us there with any tips you have, any questions, any thoughts, just anything. We want to hear from you.
Yeah, that would be great. Well, this was so much fun. As always, we are here to inspire you to create a beautiful home. Until next time.